One question I asked, I get asked by many founders, many product managers, product owners, is how to compete with larger established platforms, companies when they are launching a product. And and mind you, only the very smart ones actually ask that question. Uh, and it's a fair question, and not many people know how to manage that challenge. People try their strategies. The biggest challenge is that you want to be absolutely hitting uh, the first few clients or converting your first few prospects to get some momentum. Once you have the momentum, you can certainly carry on with it. Uh, so I will give you an analogy. When there's a huge ocean and you are a small fish, you are always scared of the big fish. You're scared of the sharks and anything that's slightly bigger than you. It's a valid fear too. But you have to keep in mind that because you are small, you have and you can have strategies. You can reach those nooks and corners where the large fish cannot. Uh, so if you're a smart fish, you can outplay the sharks. Um, let me share one of my own stories to illustrate. Uh, I joined a company, and it was a long time back. I joined a company as a sales director. It was a new company. It was a new product, so completely unknown to the market. Finally, I thought I had the first potential prospect who would convert to a client. I was confident. I called the client on the day I was supposed to get the order. It was 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and I called and said, "Mr. Client, I'm ready. When can I come and pick the order?" Now, what I was not expecting and what took the wind out of my sail was he said this to me. He said, "Sanjay, I like you. I like the product, but I've given the order just about an hour back to IBM because they are large, they are well established, and they are, in fact, a couple of price points lower than you." Now, this took me totally by surprise. I mean, I was livid inside. I was angry, upset. I felt I had been stabbed both in my between my shoulder blades and my heart. I I was inconsolable. Of course, just crying inside. I couldn't say anything to the client. Uh, but I also knew that he admitted as much. He had admitted that he liked the product. He liked my approach. Uh, so I didn't want to throw in the towel. And this is what I said to him. I said, "Hey, you know, IBM is a decent company. Their product is not too shabby, but I hope they do have that product feature." It was a picture feature. So I said, they do have that feature in their software. Now I knew they didn't. I mean, I had my research on every competitor. So I knew they didn't. The reason I raked it up was because every time we had demoed that our solution to the client, I had seen um, a gleam, a spark in his eyes. So I knew he really liked it. So I had the pulse of him on this matter. So I just threw it out there. I was like, "Hey, I do hope they have that basic feature. I mean, it was one of the most advanced features that I had. So I said, it's basic. I hope they have this basic feature. And suddenly there was total silence from the other side. Huge pause. I held my breath. I was already, I was about to cry, uh, but I could not. Right. So this is what I heard next. Client said, "Can you do another demo tonight?" I said, "Sure." So I told my engineer who had been listening to this whole. He's been part of the demo team. So and the engineer looked at me as if I had lost my mind. Or maybe I was brainless in his eyes at that moment, because he was totally confused on why would we go and meet a client who has given the order to a competitor. What are we gonna achieve out of that? How stupid can you be? But I guess the guy was polite enough to come along. Maybe he wanted to see my face when the client, after seeing demo, says, "Okay, this is great, but you know what? Order has been given, whatever." Anyways, 6:30 p.m. that night, we started the demo. 8:30 p.m. 8:30 p.m. I had the order. Now this sounds implausible. You might think this was a free case. Maybe the client was sympathetic. Or it was none of those. I knew my product was good. I knew it inside out. I knew we were absolutely no less than any other competitor. I knew I was slightly higher priced. I knew I was unknown, but I also was bringing a lot to the table. Um, so I was convinced in my mind that I will not let this client commit harakiri, go suicidal, and regret his uh, initial order to a competitor. So here's the two takeaways I can share with you. Number one, if you happen to be a small fish, if you happen to have very low budgets, if you happen to have very small team, none of that matters if you are committed, you are focused, and absolutely hungry to grab your food from. I literally call it snatching victory from the jaws of defeat. I had lost the deal. It had flown away. I know it's a different story. Maybe we'll discuss it some other time. What happened to IBM and the order? In fact, the sales guy from the IBM met me somewhere, and he said he had never seen this happen before. He was very appreciative. He was not full of rancor. But anyways, so my first takeaway: stay very very hungry. My number two takeaway for you is, if you are a founder, if you are a product owner, product manager, I don't care if you are senior VP, CEO, super CEO, president, super president, if you are not attending initial critical client meetings, you are never gonna hear and watch and see behavior of your clients. You're not gonna understand what they love, what they hate, your products, other products, etc., etc. So my request to you is, if you are in the top echelons, if you are a CEO, president, a founder, and especially you, the tech founders who are very fond of attending project meetings but feel uncomfortable in client meetings, you, sir, must go and attend critical client meetings. What client says to in your presence to you and your team is worth its weight in the gold. If you don't like speaking with clients, do not speak a word, but keep your eyes and ears open. Just watch, understand where is it the client feels great pleasure in watching your product, and where he is like, yeah, I've seen it before, kind of thing. So if you stay hungry and you have the pulse of the client, I assure you, no shark can take your food away from you. In fact, it'll be the reverse. You will snatch their food. Now, with that, on this Friday, I want to tell you, go, go and win those markets, and God bless you.